Dr. Clark.
Hello and welcome to this edition about the Clark's 101, the Living Classroom. And today we're talking Music 101 with my good friend Eric Cage from here in the city of New Orleans. And we're going to talk about the Cutting Edge Music and Business Conference. This is the 34th, am I not correct?
34th.
34th annual conference. You come around a couple of times during the year, but this is the most exciting time of the year when you come. And greetings and welcome, my brother. How you been?
Very good. Very good, Dr. Clark. You know, it's always great to come here. This is always my signal to myself that we're into the countdown.
Oh yes, and it's serious. And you know what? I've looked at the agenda, and I've been thoroughly excited about what you have coming up, and more importantly, your awards that you're giving out.
Oh yes,
some great names, and that's
man.
on there.
We love the awards.
Yeah.
We love the awards.
Yes. But tell our listeners and viewers what we should know about this rendition of the 34th annual Music and Business Conference. Yes, sir.
Well, this is like we call it a your music business journal, and our notation to you is AI is not enough for you to be in the music business. Because the music business is a human dynamic, and though you can improve the voice, you can improve, the music, but you cannot improve the human dynamic through AI. So, there's a lot that you should know, and a lot we're going to talk about during the conference. All different aspects of AI, recording with AI, songwriting with AI, doing publishing, doing all this stuff that they call fount audience.
Yeah.
Right? All of that is things that you really need to do. These programs, these AI programs are very helpful, but they're only tools.
But what I discovered with AI, and I'm pretty sure is more important, this artificial intelligence is truly important with your venue or your area, should I say, and that is that you've got to become knowledgeable. you have to know what to request, you have to understand the critique, all of those sort of things.
Yes. Learning how to play, if you're a musician, learning how to play music is just the beginning.
Yeah.
That's just the beginning. So that those 12, 13, 15 years, 20 years you learn music, now you have to learn for the next 10, 15 years all of the other aspects, which is the recording, the AI, the programming, the sono, all these different programs, how you enhance yourself, how to protect yourself, reading the contracts, understanding what's in there, understanding how you get paid, understanding how much you get off of every stream, understand how to pump up your streams, how to get more streams into your portfolio. Most people just release it and say, well, I released my music on, and it's out there on TuneCore, it's out there on Spotify, and they expect that's it.
They just rely
on their program
and what they report.
But really, it's taking it and learning the tricks of leveraging it, using it for influence, using it to get it in certain places. Everybody know about playlists, but hey, you got to do push notifications. You got to do all of these things because the difference could be that it can basically push your stuff up 50, 60%. Now, this is all predicated on the fact that your music is good enough, because there's a lot of music that's really not.
That's not garbage. I mean, that's not sustainable. I don't want to say garbage, but it's just not.
It's just not sustainable. It has no real audience. And finding audience, as I was saying, it's all about finding audience. It's all about prospecting. It's all about meeting people. It's about getting those super fans.
And can some music just be ahead of its time, or just have not found its venue yet?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. That, and you have to believe in yourself. You have to absolutely believe in yourself. Just because, the prompts and all of the different things that calculate in the algorithms that put this music out and prioritize this music is not listening to your music and not thinking your music. That's why they have a part that I'm particularly fascinated with, and I'm let's say cutting edge is also part of my laboratory for what I'm personally investing in. One of the things is what they call fount audience.
Repeat that.
Fount audience.
Yes.
And by that I mean, how do you connect with these people through things like Bandcamp? How do you don't rely on social media or even these streaming platforms to get to your audience? You find your audience. It's like people do on Subtrack,
Yeah.
right? These are ways for you to reach into people, get people to pay attention to you, and that then they are going to get your material because they are now subscribing to you. They are now paying attention to you. So if you are building, you can build from there. And the idea is you want to build towards super fans. Super fans are those people who are going to buy your tickets. But even when they don't buy your tickets, they're going to subscribe to your Subtrack. They're going to subscribe to your Bandcamp. They're going to subscribe to get your merch. They're going to be aware. They're going to, when it comes out, it's going to hit their inbox, either their telephone or their inbox, and they're going to click. I like it. I'm going to click.
And that's what you want. And again, that's the Cutting Edge Music and Business Conference. It's at the Intercontinental Hotel here in the city of New Orleans, August 26th through 29th.
Yes.
And you have the parking
Actually,
there.
the 30th.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay, 26th through the 30th. Okay,
Yes.
very, very good. Very, very good. And before we get into some of the events that you're having, I just want to talk about one of the awards that you're giving out, and that is the 2026 Influencer Award. And that award is going to,
Cyril Neville.
oh, yes. I just wanted to hear you say it. Yes, to Cyril Neville.
Neville.
My goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, the Influencer Award, 2026 Influencer Award. And tell us of the nature of this award. And I can imagine why he was chosen, but what went into the protocols in this? And
Well,
choosing Cyril Neville? Oh, yes.
we talk about these awards all year. You know, we'll talk about different people and what they're doing and things of that nature. And serendipitous, we were talking about Cyril after last year. And one, because there's a certain amount what we do in New Orleans by nature is we like legacy. We like folks who have been with something for years, people who have had impact, people who have led the way. And, in reality, the Neville brothers and the alumni of the Meters have led the way. As a matter of fact, it's not just the Neville brothers and alumni of the Meters. It's a personal connection I had with their uncle, Big Chief Jolly.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Right. Only because Big Chief Jolly used to hang out at places that when we were at Tulane, I found myself at 18-year-old drinking. Places like Big Time Crip, Callahan, Zayas. These are uptown kind of bars, right? And we used to have a thing, we would play dominoes at Big Time Crip. And when you lose, you would have to buy everybody a beer. Luckily, the beers were those little ponies. They were only $25, 25
Well,
cents.
since, yep.
But, after about, 10 rounds and you're 18 years old, you're pretty toasted. So they used to make certain that I got back to campus. And I used to go to places. And so after that, I always paid attention to what was happening with the Nevilles. Basically because of their uncle.
The link is right.
Yeah, because of it, really. And then, of course, the Meters and things of that nature. But I have watched, and we talked about the fact
Shot the deal.
that Cyril Neville has stood strong with his music. right? And uh, he has always uh, brought a certain amount of spirit, certain
A
amount of
personality.
fire, personality. You know, as I said in the article, well, he has that walk and that stare,
And
the
right,
glare,
and that
that whole
legitimacy that
thing,
let you know
and
that he's
all of
part
that.
of that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we were talking last year, the I was talking to the guy who got it last year, Jimmy Ford, and they're all from Uptown, right? And we tend to not think about it, but in New Orleans, in reality, we do think about downtown and uptown. Let's be honest. So, and Cyril Dan came up. I said, man, I want to get Cyril. I think that's a good idea. I said, Jimmy, that's a good idea. Cyril deserves an award. So I helped it until, but then I was found out that he has an album coming out, and I said, "Well, now this is even perfect. This is perfect because you want to do things that you want to honor people. You also want to enhance their their business posture, right? I mean, we do have some reach, cutting edge some reach. So hey,
Tremendous reach.
well, yes,
Global
all
reach.
right. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I just thought that it would be perfect to do Cyril as music influencer.
And then you also have the Lifetime Achievement Award.
With a lifetime achievement award. Well, the trad jazz players in New Orleans are kind of like almost we almost like think about them and they're invisible. They're like your granddad's music, but they're always there. But really, I manage the stage doing a French Quarter Festival every year. I love doing it, right? It's called a traditional jazz stage. And I listen and I watch these guys for the last 8, 9 years. And I discovered a whole new appreciation for their styles, their music, their musicianship, their energy, and the fact that not everybody can play this music.
Yeah.
So in that, Wendell Brunius and the Brunius family, it's like so many of the families in New Orleans, they're generational. They go back, back to 1800s. That's the trad jazz tradition in New Orleans. Families going back, you know, like the Fords, 8 generation, right?
Yeah.
Musicians.
Yes.
These are folks who built everything else is built on them. To be honest with you,
Baptiste, Chatters,
the
all
Chatters,
kind of
all of them,
names.
all these names,
Yeah.
the Santiagos, all of these different names, right? The Pichons, all of them. These are names that folks who they had set the legacy for so much music in America and around the world, and still are. Preservation Hall and all those things. So we have been talking about interviewing Wendell uh, for years, right? But every time he would be out of the country. And this year we were like, man, we should just give him the lifetime achievement because Wendell Brunius and the Brunius family, they have been playing this music and being strong with it. And his nephew, Mark Bro, you know, hey, is carrying on. So I think that it was perfect to do those two artists right
Yeah,
there.
very good. And I know you have. I always think it's very good. The songwriters session and the field guide to working artists is very good. But there's one session that particularly caught my eye, and I like how you phrase it. It's from 10:45 a.m. to 11:15, and it's a special session on how not to be held hostage by the sound engineer.
Yeah.
You don't want to be held
Yeah,
hostage by
you
the
don't want
sound
to be
engineer.
held hostage by the
It seems
sound
like something
engineer.
generated this session, but yes,
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you. Uh, I mean, if you've been around, if you've done live music, and we've done a lot of live music, I've done a lot of live music doing the cutting edge on the when it's not the cutting edge at French Quarter Fest at different clubs, you can be held hostage by the sound guy. Now, particularly young folks tend to have that.
Yeah.
So one of the engineers who comes to the cutting edge every year, uh, and he's always working with us during the conference. It was his idea to do that panel. He said, "Man, I would really like to be able to tell people about how not to be held hostage by a sound engineer.
Well, how do you avoid
Come to the conference,
it? Because
come to the panel, come to the panel and find out." Well, hey, one, you really have to be very much communicating with them beforehand.
and the
You
sound
need to
people are
find out.
so
You need to
important.
find out what
Yes.
kind of board you're going to be working with.
Yes.
Do your part. Get them everything that they need up front. Right. Understand what the inputs are going to be. Have a stage plot. Make certain that you are there in advance so that you can work with the guy and make certain that everything is. Find out as much as you can ahead of time, because when you get there, you do not want some guy rushing you through things, and then as a result of being rushed through, you are now caught up in a situation where they're controlling as to the flow of what you're trying to do.
The echoes, you're not
All
hear
that they don't
everything.
care about all
Yes,
that.
and
Right.
you're having trouble.
And their whole position is, well, you should have let me know about this. I didn't know about that. It's never going to be their fault. So the way you deal with it is you have to be really proactive.
Yeah. Now, 100%. And then you talk about the business acumen. We understand that. But the clinic for enthusiasts and for the curious.
That's
clinic.
the AI clinic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
The
again,
AI clinic because
it,
this is you should be curious at this stage about the AI. And then there are those people who are just totally obsessed with it. But you should sit down and you can't just throw it to the back of your back. If you are in the industry, you cannot just ignore that it exists.
you most certainly can. And especially in this new age.
Right. So they have all of these new things that people are using, creating music and getting involved with music and working AI and all that stuff. You should know what this is. You should know how these programs are working, how they're impacting people's music.
And can you recognize music that has AI influence?
Personally,
Yes, personally. Can you recognize it? I mean, as a professional,
Sometime.
someone is in there.
Sometimes you can even when you know. My thing is music. Well, because we're from New Orleans and we deal with a lot of live music and things like that. Music that is too perfect is just
You already know.
right.
I know when I look at, and you also as a professor, I know when I look at writings individuals turn in, and I recognize AI before I even read anything. I look at the length. I say, oh no, this is too long.
Yes.
When it's really long, I say, I see. They don't know when to stop.
That's part of it. Exactly. That is
Yeah.
exactly the case. They don't know when to stop. It just gets to be, what could be said in basically 7 pages, they're giving you 19 pages.
Then you recognize
And you're like
them.
saying,
Okay.
and look, if you could really tell it to stop at 7, it may take away some of that ongoing just verbiage that just says the same thing that could be said in 10 words.
And that is indeed what happens. Now, you talk about the ecosystem, the record release ecosystem, and I like the fact that you mentioned that it is indeed an ecosystem, and
absolutely.
and that we can't escape it. And I guess that's also a product of your that professor in you, recognizing there is some that there is indeed a system in which we live in. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The record release ecosystem is that process. There's a process to releasing a record. There's a process of one, you got to have the product, right? The product is the music. The product is the musicians. Without that, you really can't move too much forward, right? Even with AI music, You still have to put it into more in order for it to be well received over the radio, or for it to be well received through all these other avenues. It's, you have to do more to it. But the record release aspect is also about distributing. Exactly how are you getting your music out there? Exactly who's going to tell your story? The music by itself will not tell a story.
It has to be placed. It has to be
It'll be
placed.
placed
Yeah.
somewhere. Someone has got to contact a radio station, a, a media outlet to help tell your story, even social media. So exactly, how do you really take it from that song into a release? The ecosystem is the recording studio. Whatever we've done inside the music industry, the recording studio still stands strong as a key component. The recording studio and the recording process.
Yeah.
You gotta record it, you gotta mix it, you gotta master it, you gotta be there, you have to get it down. Because these programs will not accept anything. Right?
Right.
So you have to be able to know exactly what they're trying to release. And then if you're trying to do it with the hopes of putting it on, getting somebody to pick it up and have it as the theme lead in for WBOK, right? That even just down to the sound. It doesn't even have to be the full record like we heard coming in here. It could just be that sound.
Soulful strut. All you
That's
need
right.
To,
All you have
for
to do
my
is
purposes, all
hey,
you need.
Or somebody who just uses, some little melody, right? That they've all of that is a part of the ecosystem of how what's going to be released out. And licensing.
Yeah.
All of that can be licensed. All of that should be licensed, though. I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff on somebody's platform. But all of this stuff needs to be licensed out.
Yeah. And,
Right?
and nowadays it
All
is.
that
And,
stuff,
and
exactly.
well, stations out there
It's
buy it, they
stations,
purchase that
all
so
of
you
them.
can do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why,
That's the beauty.
somewhere around here there's a plaque that says BMI, ASCAP,
Yeah.
and everything else.
Yeah.
So all of these things is a part of an ecosystem of you shouldn't see it as just a one thing here and a one thing there and a one thing there. It's a continual, and everybody is playing a role, and everybody is going to require that you understand what their role is. It's not just their role, it's your role understanding it all. So understand that there is such a thing as an ecosystem.
Well, look at this. One thing that I always favored was when you had the live performances. And can you talk about your live performances in the venue?
Yeah.
Because that's something that everyone that comes to the conference really enjoy. And artists come out of there, they go to Grammys, they
Yes.
win Grammy. They're not
right.
going to go.
Oh, right. Or they're playing with
and they
Grammy
like
groups
New
and
Orleans
things like
artists.
that.
But talk to us about your
there's
artists.
like I said, why AI is not enough because the live aspect of it is a key component to being in the industry and music and things of that nature. Why is it that the Jazz Fest and the French Quarter Fest still draws thousands and thousands of people? Because the live experience, it matters. It is what people really, that's the emotional connection. The music is very important for that mood to make it all happen. But the connection is done when people really get into seeing where you are.
But what groups do you have this year, and what venues are you going to use?
I'm going to we're using the New Orleans Jazz Museum, where
that's
we are,
fantastic.
right,
Okay.
where we always have a special performance there. The group is called Home World Connection.
Where they from?
They're from New Orleans.
Okay.
They're from New Orleans. It's a kind of one of these neo funk type of groups, but they're good. They're good, and I thought that they deserve a platform just by themselves. we're going to use the House of Blues. We're going to not as use it as much as we used in the past. Because House of Blues is going through renovations, so we are using the place that used to be Ace Hotel is now known as the Barnett, and it's called Good Measure, and it used to be the Three Keys. Very nice room.
Oh, good,
Sounds
good, good.
good. As a matter of fact, we're going to be doing some live recording of a blues artist in that during the showcases that
Okay,
on
okay.
Thursday night.
That sound engineer is going to be important again.
Sound engineer is very important, right? You know. Then we're using uh, the broadside. At the broadside, we're going to occupy it from 1 o'clock uh, until probably 12 o'clock at night, where we do a thing called the Creators House. This is our free and open to the public version, where we're going to be having people come in and discuss different aspects of the music industry. Then we have performances, we have jam session,
Oh, I
musicians
see
that
that being
yeah.
highly exciting.
Oh, it's going on from, and we have all type of music that is going to be there, from blues to some rap, R&B, lots of rock, Americana, probably somewhere about 20 different acts.
And I know you filter through that much of the music yourself.
Yeah,
You do a lot
yeah,
because I've seen you
yeah.
in process go through the
Well, because
yeah.
if you're gonna, if people are gonna take their time to send you music, you should listen to
Well, yeah, as you should. That's a requirement.
it.
Yes,
Right,
indeed,
right,
absolutely.
right.
Hey, hey.
So basically all April is me listening to different people's music. I may not pick all the different folks who's performing, but I listen to their music.
Yeah.
I listen to the ones that come through, particularly the ones through Reverb Nation, and then the ones who put it through other things.
And then there's
I
some
sit
that
there and I
repeat.
listen. Oh yeah, there's some that it repeats. There's some people who are standards because they set the style for a certain thing. For instance, on Thursday night, the standards is being set by a Baton Rouge blues artist, and we're doing. His name is Henry Turner Jr. He's a
We
Baton
all know
Rouge
Henry
blues.
Turner.
That's right.
It's Henry Turner Museum.
Henry Turner Museum, and with him we are probably surrounding him with about 6 other blues acts. He's actually going to perform on the recording on the record with the blues artist out of Fort Payne, Alabama. We've been recording him and doing certain things with him for the last couple of years, and this time we're going to do a live session. And then we tend to do recording sessions in the hotel at about 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah.
After everything has
Yes.
gotten real quiet and low. So we'll be doing recording sessions till about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's outstanding. And again, we have about a minute or so remaining. If you could please tell us again your website, where you could be located, and also the
You
times
can
and dates,
find us
and the
at,
cost of the conference. Yes.
you can find all information on the Cutting Edge website, which is cuttingedgenola.com.
Oh yes.
And the conference itself is August 26th to the 30th. And on the 30th, of course, we do our Roots Music Gathering, or History Brunch, and we are interviewing a guy named Jimmy Ford, who has an extensive experience in music, Stephanie Jordan, and we're doing a lecture. We do our blues lecture demonstration with Henry Turner and a guy named Detroit Johnny, who's coming in from Arkansas
Oh
to
yeah.
give his version of the blues. What is the Arkansas version of the blues?
Hey. And again, this is outstanding, and it's always a treat to have you. And that's Eric Cager, and talk with the Cutting Edge music and business conference that we do have. And again, this is Dr. Clark's Living Classroom. You can follow me on all platforms of social media. And as always, it's been a pleasure.